I'm Gina, and this is my 2 cents. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that, I don't know, it's been around forever. It's the topic of change. And this topic can make some people bristle and freak out at the first sound of the word. For some people, it comes supernatural, like they just are like, change, yes, I embrace it. But I think for the majority of people, it's not an easy process. Hence why there are hundreds of books written on the topic of change. So I'm specifically going to talk about change as it applies to me, like a personal person doing change. But really, when I think of change, just the whole process in general applies to everything. I know there's tons of theories and research and lots of different ways of looking at change out there, and I'm not saying any of them are not good and that what I'm saying is best. I'm just giving my opinion and my 2 cents on change. So for example, I am the kind of person who will go into a Mexican restaurant and I will eat the same exact quesadilla every single time I go in. Anyone who's my friend knows this is true about me. I'm like, yeah, I always get the same quesadilla. So if I were looking at the change process for me in terms of the quesadilla, I would need first a sense of urgency. Why would I need to change what I'm ordering if I always like it? It always tastes good. I never have to worry about it. And I don't know, what's the purpose? Why would I need to do this? That's the first thought that comes to mind when I think of eating anything different. So let's just say I decide that I'm going to expand my taste buds and try something else so I can give a review of the restaurant not based on one item. Okay, now I kind of have a sense of urgency, right? I need to have this sense of urgency to make any first step in change. So I'm going to use this model that I had heard of. It's from like the 80s, and it's, I think they were alcoholism researchers that they kind of talked about the 6-step change process. There's many change processes out there, but this one I'm going to focus on. So the first one is you go into pre-contemplation, right? So anytime you're going to change anything, you're in pre-contemplation. You're like not really willing or considering change. So I'm walking into that Mexican restaurant. I know what quesadilla I like, and I am sitting down and I'm ordering that quesadilla, and I have no pre-contemplation of changing my mind. Then, like I said, somebody says, hey, let's leave a review. You need to have a well-rounded approach to this restaurant to leave a really good review. So then I start contemplating, right? I see the possibility of change, but it's still kind of ambivalent or uncertain to me, like why do I need to do this? And so I have to kind of think about it myself. Like, what are the reasons that I need to change from my common quesadilla? Yes, I've picked a very simple topic, but I figure it's like the least amount of stress for anyone to hear my food story. Then the next phase is determination. So you're still thinking about what to do, but you're not quite committed to change, but you are still thinking about what you're gonna do. So I might think to myself, okay, maybe I'll try a chicken taco. I might be open to trying a chicken taco or a tostada. So I'm determined that I'm going to pick something, right? And so then I have to take action. And so my next step is taking action in steps towards change, but this step is not quite stable. So I might take an action toward a taco, but in the back of my mind, I'm going, I know I'm not gonna like this taco as much as I love that quesadilla. And so I'm like self-talking to myself. So I have the action, but I'm not totally committed to full change. So that's a stage. The next one is maintenance. So you've achieved the goal. I've ordered the taco and I'm working to maintain it. So let's say I love the taco and I say, oh, it tastes really good. Well, to maintain that change, every time I go to that restaurant, I have to order the taco or something different, not the quesadilla. So the maintenance phase is like continuing in that stage of the changeness, if that makes sense. And that I think is the hardest part for people, especially for me, because I know it makes me all like shaky when I think about like, I can't have my quesadilla anymore, I have to order something else. So the way around that is recurrence, right? So you're kind of like, you're in maintenance, you're maintaining having the change, and like if you've done this change, you're maintaining it. Every time I go in, I'm eating a taco. And so then I experience a recurrence and I walk into the restaurant and all I want to do is eat my quesadilla because it felt safe. And right now I'm not feeling safe because I feel like I can't ever have my quesadilla again. And oh my gosh, I love that quesadilla, but I just had a taco that actually wasn't bad. But oh my gosh, I'm having this recurrence of what was comfortable and safe to me. So yes, I know this is a silly example, but I'm trying to like illustrate just, I don't know, my thoughts around change using food. And so if you think about it that way, it is a long, hard process. And I was an English teacher, so I used to teach the hero's journey. And if you know anything about the hero's journey, it's a cyclical process. The hero just keeps recurring, everything recurs again, and it's like this ongoing cycle. Same thing with change. So, there's been studies, if you do something for 30 days, you commit it to 30 days of every day doing the same thing, and then it becomes a habit. Things can become a habit. I can make a habit out of going into a Mexican restaurant and ordering a taco instead of a quesadilla. But for true change to really, really work, you have to have that sense of urgency. I have to feel inside that what I'm doing needs to happen for a greater good, right? So if I'm thinking of, let's say, something a little more complicated like the education system, if I'm going to change anything for the education system, I and myself need to realize what that sense of urgency is. And not everybody has the same sense of urgency. So, I don't know, in a long-winded way, what I'm trying to say is probably the reason not a lot of things change in education, in life, in like if you have past issues from growing up and you just keep replaying them in your mind and replaying them in your mind, the change process is not easy. And we get comfortable doing things that we're always used to doing because it's worked for us, right? So if it's worked for us, why are we changing it? I remember when I was first a principal, and I had a couple families say, why is the education system moving to Common Core? Why are we doing 21st century learning? It worked for us growing up, and look how good we are now. So why are we changing everything? And if it's a valid question because at the time those people were not in a sense of urgency. And I just feel like in life we have this constant daily sense of urgency to improve ourselves, improve our society, improve our education. For me, maybe to improve my food choice in a Mexican restaurant in addition to all that stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is change is hard, and we need to really, really accept that and know that about others when we go into this process. And like I said, it's a cycle. It keeps going around and round. Things recur, and then you have to go back into pre-contemplation and contemplation and determination and all through all those steps again. Because just because you eat a taco one time does not mean every single time you go in you're going to eat that same taco, because then now you're in a new phase that needs change again, right? So to be a good change agent and to be in a constant state of acceptance of change, you have to really work at it. So I guess my 2 cents today in a long-winded way, and I kind of went all over the place, but what I'm trying to say is I recognize change is hard. It is change for me, hard for me personally. Right now with COVID and being sheltered in place, we can't go out and do things. We can go drink or eat outside, but that's about the basis of what we can do. That's a huge change for me because I'm a people person. I like to go out. I like to do things with my friends, and I can barely see them. So I'm feeling like I'm waking up and I'm anxious, and I'm feeling like my chest is pounding, and it's like, oh my gosh, life is so different. And so I can just imagine folks who already have issues with anxiety and panic attacks and mental issues of just not feeling stable in their life, how times like right now are crucial for everybody, giving everybody a little bit of patience and kindness and understanding that change is not easy for anyone. It's not easy in a normal situation in the world. It's not easy when we're not in a pandemic. It's not easy as a parent of children. It's not easy in any way, shape, or form. To those of you out there who are like, yeah, change, I eat it for breakfast, more power to you. You should be the ones writing those books, I guess. But most of us, it's hard. And I just wanted to recognize that and also encourage folks to take risks, because I actually did eat a taco and I loved it. And now I don't eat that same quesadilla at the Mexican restaurant. So life can go on. Life can go on in a lot of areas. And so don't tie yourself up with one thing and think that's it for the rest of your life, because oftentimes it isn't. And sometimes it's sad, but you know what? There's better things around the bend, and taking that little step, it's really not going to hurt, even though it feels like it will. So take a step on that change process. Be the hero in your own journey. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for listening.